What's going on, everybody? So, I want to talk a little bit today about loss. Um, it's been very hard for me the last month and 10 days because I lost somebody that I really loved and cared about, my grandmother. She was like a second mother to me, but losing her has brought me closer to my understanding of life. And they say that time heals all wounds, and this is a wound that will take a long time to heal. But I just want to let you know that it does get better. Every single day I think about it. Every single day that wound is still fresh. But as I go on, I'm learning to love life and the little things more. You see, it's the little things in life that count. And you see, I used to dwell on all these things I could have done while she was alive and all these things I could have done different, while I didn't focus on the things I did do, the little things, the laughter, the loving times, the little tiny things that I did day in and day out that helped her, that helped me form a bond. And see, that's what loss is about. You see, you can't dwell on losing. You have to look at what you gained. You see, I may have lost something, but I gained I gained the wisdom and knowledge of what loss is really about. And it's about finding your inner self and finding happiness in the memories of what you had. You see, all loss brings pain, but with that pain brings a better understanding of life. And I'm not going to make this a very long video. It's hard enough for me to make this video, but I'm making this for you guys to understand that you're not alone when you lose somebody or you lose something, a relationship. It doesn't matter what you lose. You could lose a game. There's always somebody out there that knows your struggle, but they struggle differently. And you see, when we learn to enjoy the little things in life, when we learn to take that loss, take that hurt, and put it productively, you can overcome anything, any obstacle in your path. You see, we put ourselves in bubbles and we think we're untouchable. And when somebody close to us passes, or when we lose something that we thought we would never lose, whether it be at a wrestling match or a football game or a loved one, that bubble is burst and we realize that life is not a fairy tale. You have to live life each day like you are going to it's your last day of living. You have to realize that the little things in life are what counts. Do not dwell on the things that you screwed up, because through each loss, through each negative, there's a positive. It's yin and yang. For each bad thing, there's a good underlying thing that happens. You have to look at it in the broader perspective, the broader spectrum of life. And you have to realize that with death, there is life. When somebody passes, there's a life that flows out of them into those that they loved and loved them back. When you lose something, say you are an MMA fighter or a football player and you lose a match or you lose a fight, you gain the wisdom and knowledge of how to do something differently. And I spoke on this in a recent video. So when you lose a loved one, it brings you closer to yourself and to realize that if you don't like the things that you didn't do, you can always change that with somebody else in your life. You cannot take back the things that you say wrong. You cannot take back words. You cannot take back what you say, but what you do can speak precedence in who you are. And you see, the way we can handle loss is by realizing that we did not lose anything. We only gained everything. And I know that doesn't make sense. And sometimes I have a very hard time making sense of it. But when you lose something, that something is not gone. You have the memories in your mind. You have the love in your heart. You have everything. It just takes time and it takes effort and it takes perseverance to get over those hurdles, conquer those demons, and realize that with each bad, there's always a good side to it. With each thing that we go through, there are good and bad. With each thing that happens to us in our life, whether we choose to accept it or not, there's always something good. There's always a reason for everything. That person, my grandmother, she was struggling with her life. And God or the higher power or whoever's up there watching out over us, Mother Nature, it doesn't matter what you believe in. They took her because they did not want her to suffer anymore. And that is the way I'm looking at this loss. And I look at every loss now and I put it into perspective and I apply principles to it of looking at the small things that really count in life. If you love someone, hug them right now. Tell them, call them, text them, send that email. Make that call you've been wanting to make because you're not guaranteed tomorrow. I could drop dead right now. You could die next week. You could die tomorrow. You could die. Anybody can die at this very second. Each second, dead, dead, dead. There are people dropping. Don't let it be a regret. Pick up the phone. Make that phone call and say, Dad, I miss you. I love you. Mom, I'm sorry. I love you. Visit them. Because when you lose that, it is not going to be the things that you did with them that you remember. It is going to be every little detail that you regret. Don't let those regrets overcome you. Do something about it now and don't regret it later. Look at the things when you lose somebody that you did for them and stop thinking about the things you didn't do. Because what you did is probably better than what you didn't do. You see, it doesn't matter about the things that were promised and not taken care of. It matters about the things that were promised and were taken care of. You see, I dwelled on it for a long time about not taking my grandma fishing. But then I realized about the times she did go fishing with me when I lived up in Minnesota. I do realize the times that I took her shopping and the things I did for her and the things I bought for her and the things this and that and this and that. Everything will run through your mind. You have to slow yourself down. You have to look at the yin and the yang. You look at the positive and you look at the negative. You look at the negative that person is no longer here. And you look at the positive. Fill your hand with the positive to outweigh the negative. Make sure that you do not let it overcome you. It doesn't matter if there's somebody right now in your life that you've been wanting to make a phone call to. Maybe it's your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your aunt, your uncle. Somebody you miss and you don't tell them. Call them right now. Pause the video. Say, I love you and I miss you. I'm sorry. Text them. It doesn't matter. If there's somebody you love in your house right now and you haven't said it in a while, pause the video and go hug them. Sorry about that. Drop the camera. Go and give your loved ones a hug because you never know when the last hug will be. And I'm not going to edit that camera drop out because you know what? Shit happens in life. Things drop, things fall, people drop, everything eventually will go and it will die. I will die, you will die, every plant, every animal, everything, the earth, the sun, this universe will eventually die. We don't look at that perspective. We don't look at it as everything around us is living. Everything around us is a living being that's going to die. Shit happens, and we're not ready for it. It doesn't matter how much you prepare, you will never be ready for the loss that you will see. That is why right now, I urge you, after the video, right now, it doesn't matter, 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, an hour ago, 10 days ago, a week, a month, a year, you should have told them you love them. So get up, go hug your loved one. Hug them close, because you never know when you're going to lose that. Kiss them, tell them you love them, and tell them you cherish everything about them. Tell them. Just tell them. That's all you have to do. Say you are wanted. Appreciate what you have now before it's gone tomorrow. Peace.